ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். Shri Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, Vibhuti Vistara Yogam. Bhagavan is explaining about his own greatness in this chapter. After explaining in detail about Bhakti Yogam in 7th, 8th and 9th chapters, in this chapter Bhagavan is explaining about his greatness, his own greatness, so that Arjuna will develop more devotion, more bhakti towards Bhagavan. Because once we know about someone's greatness, we develop more respect and reverence towards that person. For that, Krishna is explaining about his own greatness in this chapter. In the beginning he explained that those who know about Bhagavan's true greatness will be freed from sins, so that they can pursue their Bhakti Yogam nicely. And in the 4th and 5th shlokam, Bhagavan explained that many aspects of all the beings, creatures, they are all controlled by Bhagavan. After that, in this 6th shlokam, he is continuing on with the same theme, that how great sages, Saptarishis, Manus, they are all also controlled by Bhagavan. Let us see the 6th shlokam. Maharshayas saptapurve chatvaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jata yesham loka imaf prajaha. Word by word meanings. Purve, from the first Manvantara, reign of a Manu. Manasa, created by the mind of Brahma. Sapta Maharshaya, 7 great sages, starting with Bhrigu. Tatha, in the same manner, Chatvara Manava, 4 Manus, Madbhava, are engaged in following my will. Esham Loke, descendants of those, Imaha Praja Jata, the creations who are present now, originated from. So in this shlokam, Krishna is saying, all creations who are present now originated from and are descendants of 7 great sages and 4 Manus, who were created by the mind of Brahma, right from the first Manvantara, which occurs at the beginning of every day of Brahma, are engaged in activities following my will. Just as Krishna explained that many aspects in all creatures are following his own will, Sankalpa, in this shlokam he is explaining that the Saptarishis, the 7 great sages, the 4 Manus, both of these groups are created by Brahma from his mind at the beginning of every day, during the beginning of the Kalpa, Brahma's day. And all the progeny of all these Saptarishis and Manus, all of them are engaged in activities based on Bhagavan's will. Now here, Brahma's day has 1000 Chaturyugams. One Chaturyugam has Krita Yugam, Treta Yugam, Dwapara Yugam and Kali Yugam. And there are 1000 such Chaturyugams in Brahma's one day. So at the beginning of this, Brahma creates from his mind, in the first Manvantara, 7 sages, great sages, and 4 Manus. Now these 1000 Chaturyugas, they are divided into 14 Manvantaras. Each Manvantara has about 70 Chaturyugas, and there will be one Manu heading each of this Manvantara. So one Manu will be present for 70 Chaturyugas. Now we are in Vaivasvata Manvantara. But here Bhagavan is not talking about that Manu, because there are 14 Manus in every day of Brahma, as explained in Puranas and so on. But here Bhagavan is talking about 4 Manus only, who are created from the mind of Brahma. So these are different Manus who are explained in various other Puranas. And the Saptarishis, the 7 sages, all of these were created from Brahma's mind, and there is progeny, descendants of these entities, these personalities are continuing until today. So everyone is engaged in activities following my will. That is explained in this 6th shlokam. Then 7th shlokam, Etam vibhutim yogam cha mamayo veti tattvataha sovikampyena yogena yujyate natra samshayaha. In this shlokam, Bhagavan is saying that those who know Bhagavan's wealth and greatness truly, they will be very steady in their Bhakti Yogam. Let us see the word by word meanings. Etam vibhutim mama. This wealth of mine, i.e., that is having everything under my control. Mama yogam cha, the greatness of me who is together with auspicious qualities and being the opposite of inauspicious qualities. Yaha, whosoever, tattvata veti, knows truly, sa, he, avikampena yogena, with steady bhakti yoga, yujyate, gets to be together, atra, in this matter, na samshaya, there is no doubt. Krishna is saying, whosoever knows truly this wealth of mine and the greatness of me, who is together with auspicious qualities and being the opposite of inauspicious qualities, he gets to be together with steady yoga, steady bhakti yoga. Here yoga means bhakti yoga, because the context is bhakti yogam now. And he says there is no doubt in this matter. So Bhagavan has 2 vibhuti, Nitya Vibhuti and Leela Vibhuti. Vibhuti means opulence and wealth. Bhagavan has the Vaikuntham and Samsara, 2 worlds as his wealth. And he has 2 Lingam. Lingam means identity. One is being the abode of all auspicious qualities. And the second identity, Lingam, is being opposite of all inauspicious aspects. So there is no defect in Bhagavan, and he is full of auspicious qualities. So when one knows Bhagavan to be with all this wealth, all this greatness, and being the abode of auspicious qualities and being opposite to inauspicious aspects, such person will get Bhakti Yoga, will have his mind being with Bhakti Yoga, and he says there is no doubt in this matter. That is 7th shlokam. Now 8th shlokam. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. In this shlokam he explains his greatness further. Aham, I am, sarvasya, for the whole world, prabhavaha, origin, matta, from me only, sarvam, all entities, pravartate, operate, iti, this natural unencumbered wealth and auspicious qualities of mine, matva, meditate upon, buddha, wise persons, bhava samanvitaha, with great love, mam, me, who is with all auspicious qualities, bhajante, worship. So Krishna in this shlokam is saying I am the origin for the whole world and all entities operate from me only. Meditating upon this natural, unencumbered wealth and auspicious qualities of mine, wise persons worship me with great love. Here, wise person means one who is in Bhakti Yoga practice. Such persons will worship me with great love, knowing about my great wealth and auspicious qualities. He will know that I am the origin for the whole world. Everything originated from me, and all entities operate from me only. Everyone's activity is controlled by me. I am the ultimate decider, and everyone and everything originated from me. One who knows this, such wise person, will worship me with great love. Says Krishna in this shlokam. 9th shlokam. In this 9th shlokam, Bhagavan explains how one will worship him. As in the previous shlokam, he said, Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. Those who are wise, those jnanis will worship me. In this shlokam, how they worship him is explained. Very popular shlokam, well-known shlokam. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Macchitta, having their mind fixed on me. Madgata prana, having their life centered in me. Prana means one's vital air, one's life. When one is having Bhagavan as prana, as life, then in separation from Bhagavan they cannot even live. So having their life centered in me, parasparam bodhayantaha, informing each other about my qualities which they enjoyed. Mam nityam katayantaha cha, always discussing about me and my activities, Bhagavan's greatness, Bhagavan's glories, and his many leelas in many of his incarnations. Tushyanti cha, become joyful. Ramanti cha, become joyful. Both are become joyful. There is a repetition. Bhagavad Ramanuja has explained this in the most beautiful way. He has explained it that Tushyanti cha indicates the speakers become very joyful due to speaking about Bhagavan without any ulterior motive. The speaker here does not seek his own fame, he does not seek any wealth, he does not seek any other benefits out of it. He is only speaking for the sake of glorifying Bhagavan, and because of that he becomes joyful. Ramanticha, the listener, due to listening to very sweet words about Bhagavan, he becomes joyful. He is also listening to these words only for knowing about Bhagavan and being immersed in Bhagavan. No other external benefit is expected from it. Because of this, both the speaker and the listener become joyful. So having their mind fixed in me, having their life centered in me, informing each other about my qualities which they enjoyed, always discussing about me and my activities, both the speakers and the listeners become joyful. That is 9th shlokam. Then 10th shlokam. This is also a very famous shlokam, used in the commentaries in several places. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. In commentaries, usually in many places, it is shown that we should be the target of dadhami and not shipami. Krishna says, shipami, I push people with evil mind to hellish regions. And here he says, dadami, I give them knowledge. So in the commentaries, our acharyas insist that we should become target of Bhagavan's dadami and not shipami. Let us see the word by word meanings. Satata yuktanam, desiring to be together with me always. Bhajatham, those who are engaged in selfless bhakti towards me, devotion towards me. Tesham, for those. Yena te mam upayanti tam buddhi yogam, the intelligence known as parajnanam, which is an aspect to reach me. Priti purvakam dadami, I joyfully bestow that to them. So this priti purvakam should be seen with both bhajatam as well as dadami. Those who worship him with love, and when Bhagavan gives something, in this case the jnanam, the buddhi, he gives it with love. So for those who are desiring to be together with me always and are engaged in selfless bhakti towards me, I joyfully bestow them the intelligence known as parajnanam, which is an aspect to reach me. So Krishna is saying that if you are fully engaged in service towards me, I give you the knowledge to reach me. Next shlokam is a continuation of this shlokam. Tesham yevanukam partam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atmabhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. In this shlokam, there is a question which arises. Yes, Bhagavan will give jnanam and we can pursue him with that. But what about the previous karma and the ignorance accumulated, the tamas accumulated due to that ignorance? For that, Krishna is explaining that he will eliminate those as well by giving the light of knowledge, the lamp of knowledge. Let us see the word by word meanings. Tesham, in those who are having selfless bhakti, the bhakti yoga nishta. Anukampartam eva. Anukampa means kripa, mercy. Anukampartam means due to mercy. Anukampartam eva means due to mercy only. Atma bhavasta, being the target of their heart by revealing my auspicious qualities. Bhasvata jnana deepena, with the shining lamp of knowledge about me. Ajnanajam tamaha, ignorance of darkness, which is the attachment towards worldly pleasures, which is a hurdle for knowledge and which are caused by sins coming from time immemorial. Aham nashayami, I destroy. In those selfless bhakti yoga nishtars, those who are engaged in bhakti yogam, due to my mercy only, being the target of their heart, I destroy the ignorance of darkness, which is a hurdle for knowledge caused by sins coming from time immemorial. And how do I destroy it? I destroy it with the shining lamp of knowledge about me. I give them the shining lamp of knowledge which is about me, and with that the ignorance of darkness get destroyed. So in this shlokam, Bhagavan is saying how he helps those bhakti yoga nishta by providing the lamp of knowledge and destroying the ignorance. With this we will stop today and we will continue on in the next session. Alvar Embermanar Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam, Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.
To learn such valuable information about our Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, please download Koyil KOYIL app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, KOYIL.org.